Alright guys, here are your problems of the day for today. Go ahead and solve the problems after I read them. Pause the video and resume it to see if you were correct and the strategies that I chose to use. First problem, Zakia was given 3/4 of a pizza. Riley was given 5/8 of a pizza. Who was given more pizza to eat? Now for this problem I should have specified the pizzas that they're eating, they're coming from the same size. Okay, so Zakia and Riley each have a pizza. We're getting some pizza. The pizza is the same size, so here's Zakia's pizza, here's Riley's pizza, they're the same size. Zakia is given 3/4 of that pizza. Riley is given 5/8 of the pizza. Who is given more pizza to eat? Problem 2. Lena is going to a movie that starts at 6:45 p.m. It takes her 25 minutes to drive to the theater. If she leaves home at 6:15 p.m., will she make it there in time? Go ahead and pause and solve. I will see you when you're done. Okay. Let's go over the first problem. So for the first problem, what we're doing is we're comparing fractions. We're trying to see which is greater, 3/4 or 5/8. There's a couple different ways you could do this, and I'm actually going to show you two strategies today. The first strategy is one we're familiar with. We're going to compare by drawing fraction bar. And the second strategy is something we didn't get to go over as much as I wanted to in the classroom. So I'm going to kind of teach you that for some of you today. So let's start with fraction bars. When we're comparing, we always do fraction bars. And for any parents watching or guardians, we do fraction bars, and we choose fraction bars because it's going to make it so much easier to compare than drawing circles. When you start to draw circles, it's very hard to make the same circle perfect. So if I was to draw a circle here, and of course I could be better than this. Some of you might be more artistic. But you have to make sure your circles are the exact same size in order to split them up. Because with fractions, when comparing these two, the pizzas are the same size. So what I do is I actually start by drawing one rectangle, not two. I just draw one. So I'm going to draw one rectangle. And then I'm going to see how many fractions am I comparing. Well, I'm comparing two because I'm comparing 3/4. And I'm comparing 5/8. So these are the two fractions I'm going to be comparing. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to actually draw a line horizontally across this, because then I'm going to take this one rectangle and make it two. Now I have two fraction bars. Okay, so they are the same length. Now I'm going to label this one 3/4 and this one 5/8. So you can actually see. This is going to be the 3/4 bar. This one's going to be the 5/8 bar. Now, 4ths and 8ths are in the same fraction family, and they're the same fraction family as halves. So in order to break this into 4ths and this into 8ths, you're going to start by breaking them both into half. So I'm going to start here, and I'm going to try to eyeball it the best I can. And that went crooked a little bit. That's why we have erasers, right? So I'm looking, and I'm like, you know what? That doesn't actually look that good to me. So I'm actually going to move that over. So we draw a line and we ask ourselves, okay, does that look about half? Yeah, that looks about half. So I need the same thing for the bottom. So I'm just going to continue my line down. I don't need to make a new line. I'm just going to continue that line straight down. Now, I have both of these in halves, but this one needs to be broken into 4ths because my denominator is 4, and that's how many equal parts are in a whole. So I'm going to halve my halves. So I'm going to look at it. I'm going to try to go about halfway. Make a line. If yours doesn't look halfway, just redo it. And then the same on the other side. Again, 8ths in the same fraction family as 4ths, so I'm going to continue that line straight down. No need to do the work twice. Okay, now up here, I have 4ths already. 1, 2, 3, 4, that's done. But this one down here, this needs to be broken into 8 total pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to halve each of these 4ths. Make sure you did it right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good. The next thing I always like to do is I like to label the unit fraction. The unit fraction represents one part of the whole. Okay, so this is broken into 4 equal parts. So the denominator for all of these is 4. And the unit fraction, unit meaning 1, is just 1. So your numerator is 1 for all of them. So each of these represents 1/4. That's 1/4 of the pizza, that's 1/4 of the pizza, that's 1/4 of the pizza, that's 1/4 of the pizza. So what would your unit fraction be for down here? So what's the unit fraction of this? 1/8, because this is a total of 8 equal parts, and I'm talking about one of them. So all of them are 1/8. So after I have my unit fractions labeled, now I'm going to actually do the part where I'm comparing. I'm going to shade them in. So let's go ahead and find 3/4. I'm going to shade in 1, 2, 3. This is 3/4. Bottom one, I'm going to look at my numerator. What's my numerator? 5. So I'm going to shade in how many parts? 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now let's look and see which one has more shaded in. 3/4. 3/4 goes from here all the way to here, but yet 5/8 only goes from here to here. So 3/4 is greater than 5/8. We want to be able to use this symbol appropriately. If you forget, picture an alligator eating the larger fraction. He wants to eat more pizza. He's going to eat Zakia's pizza. She has more than Riley. Okay? Great. So that's the one way to solve it. The other way I can show you this is by finding a common denominator. So this is something, if you don't know how to do it, it's because I only taught a couple of you in class, and then, you know, everything went bonkers and we had to leave the classroom. So we know when fractions have the same denominator, it's easy to compare them. So if I told you that Zakia had 2/4 and Riley had 3/4, both pizzas are cut into fourths. So that means the slices are going to be the same size. So if I give you 4 slices and I give you 3 slices, but yet they're the same size, yeah, you want the one that has 4 slices. You want the bigger numerator, okay? So it's easy to compare numbers with the same denominator. It's not as easy with different denominators. So you can draw a fraction bar like we just did. Or for some fractions, you can go ahead and find a common denominator. So what that means is you want to see, how can I get this denominator to be the same? Now, I know that 4 can go into 8 2 times, okay? Now, how would I get 4 to go into 8 2 times? Well, I would multiply 4 times 2. So I'm going to multiply 4 times 2, and that would equal 8. And whatever I do to the bottom, I'm going to do to the top. So now, since I multiplied 4 times 2, since I doubled it, essentially, I'm doubling my denominator, I'm going to double my numerator. So 3 times 2 is 6. So now what we're really doing is we're comparing 6/8 to 5/8. Well, what would you rather have more of? 6/8 or 5/8? You'd rather have 6/8, which is why 3/4 is greater. This is also another way of saying 3/4 is equivalent to 6/8. I'm not going to go too much into this because I don't want to teach that new skill to you virtually because that's hard, but I did teach a couple of you over that, so it was just a quick review. Let's go to the second problem about time. We need to know if Lena's going to make it to the movie theater in time. She is going to leave at 6:15, and the movie starts at 6:45. It's going to take her 25 minutes to get there. So I need to know if she leaves at 6:15 and it takes her 25 minutes, what time will it be in 25 minutes? So I'm going to add 25 minutes on to see where that's at. Now, some of you might just add 25 to 15, okay? I'm going to use my number line. So let's go ahead and just add our 20 from 25. So I'm going to add 20. So, actually, no, I'm gonna go backwards. I'm going to change my mind. I'm going to do my 5. Okay? I'm going to do the 5 from the 25. Because I know 15 plus another 5 is going to be 20. So now the time is 6:20. And now I have 20 more minutes I need to add. That would get me to 6:40. So she would get there by 6:40. Is that enough time to make it to her 6:45 movie? Yes. All right, good job. Talk to y'all later. Bye.